Okay, welcome students. Come on in, sit down. Those of you in the back, we're going to go ahead and get started right now. My name is Mike Glauser, and I'm the Executive Director of the Center for Entrepreneurship here at Utah State. And I've been here for 15 years, a lot longer than I thought I would be, but I absolutely love Utah State. I love the Huntsman School of Business. This is our 15th year offering this series, so we have entrepreneurs come to campus every year, spring semester, 10 to 12 of those, so we've had almost 200 guests. And I have to say, I'm being really honest with you, I think this lineup this time is one of the best group of speakers we've ever had. So thanks for being here. I think you're going to love it. You're going to love the stories that you hear. You're going to be inspired. You get to have dinner with one of the entrepreneurs of your choice, and you get to network with them during while they're here and out in the lobby afterwards. They've actually agreed to mentor a lot of our students over the years, and some of them have even hired some of the students. So welcome. It's great to have you here. I want to see, just for a minute, how many of you are studying business or in a business major? Raise your hand. Okay. So about half of you, and the rest of you are non-business majors. That's awesome. We've had about 53 different majors participate, and we believe really strongly that entrepreneurship is the leadership model of the future, and it should be attached to every single major at Utah State University. If I had the choice to do that, I would do it. But we've had about 140 different majors participate in our program, and we've had hundreds of companies come out of our center. The revenue from these companies is about $1.5 billion, and hundreds of thousands of employees have been hired from students just like you that take this program here at Utah State University. So I hope you enjoy this class. You're all asking yourself a question, being here as a university student. Whoops. Page. Technical difficulty. I want it to just go one. It's skipping. Okay, we're good. Okay, so are you all asking yourself this question, being a student of the university? What do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to be? How do you want to spend your 40 to 50-year career? Is there anyone here that knows exactly what you want to do with your lifetime career? Be brave, raise your hand. Okay, we have one person. We have two. Okay, I want the three of you, I want you to come up here on the stage. Are you willing? Come up on the stage. Tell us how you have figured this out so early in your life, okay? And in the booth, if we could have the lights up a little bit in the audience, that would be awesome. Come on up on the stage. Okay, give us your name, tell us what you're going to do and why you're going to do that.
My name's Tanner Oviatt. I'm an accounting major, and so I'm going to run my own accounting firm centered around R&D tax credits. So.
And when did you decide this?
This was decided about a year ago. So, yeah, so I did an internship for a software company, and then that's all I worked on the entire time. So, just going to focus there.
Let's give him a hand. He's brave to come up here.
Thank you. Oh, perfect. I'm AJ. I'm majoring in management, and I want to start my own company that's a mix of like life coaching and help in the fitness industry.
Okay. Awesome.
So, yeah.
Fantastic. Let's keep it going. Just stand forward.
I'm Ryan, and I'm a vet science major, and so I want to be a veterinarian like my dad. So.
I'm McKenna. I'm doing elementary education, and I want to be a teacher because I want to be able to help little kids to be successful in their future.
Way to go.
Hi everyone, I'm Brianna. I'm studying finance right now, and I want to be a realtor and also flip houses on the side, have a good little passive income.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks for coming up. That's pretty brave to come up in front of more than 200 people and talk about their careers, so thank you. The rest of you, what's the deal? Why don't you know what you're going to do? Why is it that so many of us don't know what we're going to do yet? Just raise your hand and shout out. Yes. So you and I have a lot in common. I still don't know what I'm going to be when I grow up. I've had 5 careers, okay? How about the rest of you? What else? Why is it so hard? There's more choices than ever before, more information than ever before. Things are changing faster than ever before. We want you to succeed in your career. The Center of Entrepreneurship, our goal is to have you be very successful in your career and in your life. And we want to give you a set of skills that will allow you to be successful. So a few years ago, Andy and I and a few others, we jumped in a van. We traveled all across America for the summer. We interviewed experts, professors, scholars in the field of work and the future of work and the future of technology, because we wanted to find out what do you need, what skill set do you need? How are you going to be successful when you graduate? How are you going to maintain success throughout your entire life? And we interviewed some amazing people at universities and people that run magazines like Inc. magazine and so on. And we summarized all that data. And we have this brief little film here I'm going to show you that shows you what they said the future is going to look like, okay?
The future of work as a result of technology is going to be the biggest change in the 21st century as industrialization changed the world centuries ago. We're at a fundamental shift right now.
In a world driven by incredibly rapid and accelerating change, this era of entrepreneurship and this era in the economy in general is unprecedented.
What technology has been good at for a few decades now is replacing routine work.
This could lead to fundamental changes in reality, how they work.
It's going to be so hugely disruptive.
It's affecting workers and jobs and wages in ways that we have not seen before.
Imagine what that does to the trucking industry.
Everyone's talking about the driverless car.
When all the trucks drive themselves, they can drive 24 hours a day.
Within 10 years, we're not going to be allowed to drive because it's just going to be deemed unsafe.
And if you breathe on it, it'll tell you whether you have lung cancer or not.
No occupation is off limits.
Robots are doing more accurate surgeries than the surgeons.
The bank teller,
The payroll clerk.
We don't need you anymore.
I honestly believe I am going to live to see a science fiction economy where our mines, our factories, warehouses, our farms, highways are staffed almost exclusively by machines. We're just going to automate the work.
Anybody who takes charge of their own economic destiny, regardless of the scale, for me as an entrepreneur.
We literally started by selling Ziploc bags of this powdered drink mix that we made in a hardware store.
I was pretty sick of doing what I was doing.
I just kept feeling like, man, like this can't be my life. Like I'm too creative for this.
I remember thinking, wouldn't it be just the greatest thing ever if we could actually get paid doing this?
I ordered 5,000 skirts and I didn't know how to build a business.
How do you come up with a sample of something that's never been done before?
I have to create my own destiny.
Taking that bold step is what 3X'd my company.
I do this because this is my dream.
You can do whatever the hell you want.
Stop settling for a mediocre job.
Stop being such a wuss.
You know, if ever there was a reason to be self-employed,
Changed my whole life.
I'm not going back to work. I'm doing something on my own.
Put on your big boy pants and get to freaking work.
Editor-in-chief of Inc. magazine, I think, said it best. He said, anyone that takes control of their economic destiny is an entrepreneur. So here's just a summary of some of the things they talked about. You've seen these things. We don't need accountants as much as we used to. We don't even need programmers anymore due to AI. Retail jobs are going away, delivery jobs, driving jobs, anything that can be manufactured is being made by robots and machines. And the latest estimate, this is a conservative estimate, that 85 million jobs will be gone in 2 to 3 years due to AI. A higher estimate worldwide was 300 million jobs. And here are some fun examples. So up there on the top left, that is a Sam's Club store. Sam's Club is automating all their stores. They're called Scan and Go. They're eliminating the retail employees on the floor. All 600 stores will be converted. So you walk in, you scan your items, you walk out, and it charges it on your phone. So retail employees will be gone, thousands of jobs. Amazon actually started this with their Amazon Go stores, where they had all the items on pressure-sensitized pads. You'd take an item off the shelf and it would automatically go to your phone. And then when you walk out, it charges your account. And they've got 15 of those stores. Domino's is now delivering pizzas in New Zealand by drone. So you go on your phone and you order the pizza, and it starts counting down how long it'll take. The drone shows up. It's on a pressure-sensitized cable. It comes down when it hits the ground. The cable releases, and your pizza's sitting on your front grass or your front porch or your driveway. Amazon now is delivering in Texas and Arizona most of their products by drone. And they're perfecting the technology, working the bugs out. And then they've got approval to build 24 air stations to launch in the United States. And they estimate that they'll deliver 500 million packages by drone by the year 2030. Have any of you ridden in a Waymo car? How was it? It was amazing. Was it as safe as Uber? It was safer. Okay. Why was it safer?
All the scanning it does and automated stuff, I could just tell I felt way more safe in that car than I did with my Uber drivers.
Okay, so I spent a week in San Francisco with my granddaughter. We started riding in Ubers, and they seemed really, really dangerous. They were like taking jumps on the hills and driving around corners and almost scraping the side of the car on another car. And so we finally got enough courage to get in a Waymo car. And it's really awesome. You punch in your name. So I would put her name, Kate Glauser, and it would show up with her initials on it, KG. And when you walk up to the car, it sends to your phone a code. You punch in the code, and it opens the door, and it drives perfectly safe. We felt far safer in those cars than we did driving Uber or Lyft. They are in 4 cities right now. They're in San Francisco, LA, Phoenix, and they just moved into Austin, and they predict that they'll have double the number of cities and fleets by the end of this year. They've actually partnered, they're creating agreements with Lyft and Uber to try to figure out how to collaborate to bring this technology into the future. So it might only be 5 years where there won't be Uber and there won't be Lyft, but there'll only be driverless cars. 1.3 million people every year killed in automobile accidents. 1.3 million. In the U.S., it's about 50,000 people are killed. The estimate is 90% of those are human error, and if this technology takes off and is used nationwide, we will cut the number of deaths from 50,000 down to about 40,000 with automobiles. So this is coming. It's going to happen soon in your lifetime. Everything that can be built is being built by robots. They're even making medications. They produce pills. This machine over here, this is a very good friend of mine. It's called the Da Vinci robot, and it did surgery on me. I had a choice. The doctor said, do you want traditional surgery where we're going to cut you open and sew you back up? Or do you want, orthoscopic surgery? We're going to just put a scope in and handle it that way. Or we've got this cool robot named Da Vinci. And I said, I want the robot. I said, is it safe? Yeah, it's safe. But he was not needed other than to kind of control the computer while the surgery was completed. And I recovered very, very quickly. So this is coming as well. How many of you have been to a restaurant where a robot delivers your food or your drink? So about 5 or 10 of you. So I was in 4 restaurants in different cities, and this is the future here as well. You punch in your order, and some kind of machine brings you the product. This is the most interesting new technology. His name is Horatio Ishigari at Okasawa University, and he has been working on robotics. He calls them humanoids for about 20 years. You can see there, he builds the the inner structure is all mechanical, and then he has figured out ways to put the outer shell to look exactly like a person. The hair, the texture, and so on. Over here on the right at the bottom, there's a hotel in Japan. It's called Henna. You can look it up, Hennna, that is staffed exclusively by robots. This is one of the greeters right here. So they greet you when you go in the front door. They deliver your bags to your room. They do room service. They solve problems and so on. They built about 10 of those and found out that they did need a human, at least a couple of human, to manage these robots. So now they're building what they call hybrid hotels. It's mostly robots. They have 150 robots now in 14 different hotels. How does that make you feel? Okay. So those brave people that came up here and talked about their careers, that's phenomenal. You're going to be able to probably stay in those careers for a long period of time. But for all the rest of you, for the rest of us, it doesn't matter that you don't know yet what you're going to do. This is a famous scholar who talks about the future of work, Paul Henstedt. And what he says is that what we now have in the world are very, very wicked problems. He calls them wicked problems. And this is how he defines wicked problems. They're difficult, they're ambiguous, they're complex, there's not a single solution. And what we need to start producing in our universities is what he calls wicked thinkers, okay? So you can see wicked thinkers there. They can handle confusion, complexity, ambiguity. They're lifetime learners. They're going to jump from problem to problem to problem during their career. And the skill set he predicts that they need are innovative, creative thinking, problem solving, and creating value for individuals, for groups, and for society. And we were thrilled when we found this book because that's entrepreneurship. It's a leadership model where you solve problems, you create new products, new services, and most important, you add value to people's lives. So you make life better. So here's the new career trajectory for most of you. Some of you will be able to stay in your career your whole 40 years. Most of you won't be able to. So you'll study and you'll learn and you'll prepare. You'll find a problem. You'll find an organization. You'll start solving and working on that. Then the environment will change. You'll keep educating yourself. You'll train yourself in a new skill. You'll go on to your second opportunity, your third opportunity, and your fourth opportunity. So this is the new career model. And we feel like it's our goal in the Center for Entrepreneurship to get all of you ready for this future, okay? That's why we love our jobs. It's pretty cool, don't you think? To figure out how we help you prepare for your future career to be successful. So here's what we've done. We've spent a number of years going out and finding the best problem solvers in America, the best entrepreneurs, men and women, young and old, that have created amazing solutions to problems and created amazing organizations. And entrepreneurship is not just about creating a for-profit company. It's about using these entrepreneurial leadership skills to solve problems in nonprofits, in churches, in schools, in any kind of organization, or to even start a for-profit business. And we have found common practices that appear in every successful problem that is solved by an entrepreneur. The ones that fail miss these characteristics. And so the essence of our program here at Utah State and our center is based on some very simple concepts, okay? So what I want to do is talk about each of these real briefly, and then you will watch and listen to these entrepreneurs that come and speak, and you'll find out that you'll go down this checklist and you'll go, yeah, they did that, yeah, they did that, yeah, they did that, yes, they did that. So these are a common core, a foundation for successful problem solving, creating new products, creating new services, creating new organizations, creating new businesses. We'll talk about them briefly. So you are going to spend about half of your waking hours, Monday through Friday, 50% of your life working. And if you don't like what you're doing, your life's going to be really miserable. I'm always amazed that I meet people that are so excited to retire because they don't like their job. And then they finally retire, and some of them die, and they've missed out on life. So people that are passionate about something do far better at that thing, whatever it is. You're more inclined to study it. You're more inclined to think about it. You're more inclined to interact with people that feel strongly about it. You're more inclined to do work in that area. So you got to figure out what turns you on and what lights you up. If you have a strong purpose for any project you're working on, any business you're working in, it gives you perseverance, passion. It encourages excellence, but it attracts like-minded people to your project. You get other people that are also passionate about it. So people that succeed are very, very passionate about what they do. And we find these successful entrepreneurs, they're passionate about two things. Some of them are very passionate about their products or services, like I love this thing, I love what I'm doing. And others are just incredibly passionate about owning a business that's theirs, that they control. One of my favorite entrepreneurs is a garbage man. He has a big garbage company, and he doesn't like garbage, but he loves owning a business that's his and being the best in his industry. So you got to be passionate about what you do. One of the entrepreneurs that Andy and I interviewed was in Washington, D.C., and this was an amazing woman. She was a hairstylist to put herself through college. She got a degree in finance and started working for a hedge fund in Washington, D.C., and she absolutely hated it. She felt like she went from heaven to hell. So she said, I'm going back to be a hairstylist. I know I won't make as much money, but I love the interaction. I love the women. I love working with them. I love solving problems. When she went back to a salon, she realized that African American women have a very hard time finding wigs with the right texture and the right colors of their hair. No one was making products exclusively for them. So she made some wigs, made some prototypes. People said they were cool. She put them online, and she sold several hundred of those within about a week. And she thought, okay, I'm off and running. I've got my new venture. The problem was 3 weeks later, all the women were calling her and emailing her and texting her saying, the hair fell out of the hairpiece and my wig's a disaster. And she realized that she didn't really know how to make a wig that will last. And she told them, she said, I love what I'm doing. I love you. I want to solve this problem. If you give me some time, I'll solve it. I'll either give your money back or I'll give you a new wig. I'll give your money back or I'll give you a better wig. So because she loved this business so much and cared about these women, she did what any normal person would do. She got on a plane and flew to China, worked in a wig factory, and learned how to make wigs for 6 months. You'd do that, right? Anyone would do that, right? So anyway, she ended up learning how to make amazing wigs and hair pieces. She hired 26 employees in China, came back, replaced all the wigs of her first women, and now is building a thriving business called Heat-Free Hair. And she says to us that there's no way she could have done it if she didn't have that passion to solve that problem. She would have quit when the wigs fell apart. So be thinking about, what gets you excited to get up in the morning? What can you put your focus and your attention into every day? Okay, this is one of the biggest ones here, is there's a difference between an opportunity to solve a problem and just an idea. An idea is something that you think up in the shower in the morning. Hey, that'd be cool. I think I'll go do that. Or you're sitting on the couch watching TV. Oh, that'd be awesome. A true business opportunity has these 5 components to it. And these are the hurdles we take your ideas through. We don't ever tell you whether your idea is a good idea or not a good idea. We'll just say, hey, let's run it through the model, okay? So the first thing, do you have evidence that there's a real problem that people need a solution for? Are people saying, this drives me crazy, I hate this, I wish someone would fix that? You have to have a lot of firsthand evidence that there's a true need out there. We see so many entrepreneurs that create this amazing technology in a lab, and then they have to go out and find a problem to see if there's a problem it solves. And it never goes anywhere. So it starts with people being frustrated with a process in life. Experience, you don't have to have worked in the industry or worked in that field, but you have to be what we call a user entrepreneur. The most successful entrepreneurs have worked in the field or they've used the products continually over and over and over again. So if you are a user entrepreneur, you know all the products out there, you know which ones work, you know which ones you like, you know which ones you don't like, and you're in perfect position to solve that problem. But you probably will need to partner with someone that knows more about that industry. A lot of people think, I can't start a business because I have no money. That's really a bad racket. That's a bad game. You can start a business with no money. You don't need money, but what you need is resources. You have to cobble together a prototype in some way. You have to get it out in the market and test it and see if people really buy it. And what happens is you create a few, you sell a few, you learn a lot. You create a few more, you sell a few more, you learn a lot. And you start iterating, but you kind of grow this business with your cash flow. This is very important with, crowdfunding right now. You can sell products to customers before you even make them. So you make a prototype, you put it on a crowdfunding site like Kickstarter, Indiegogo, you see if people buy it. If they buy it, then you go make it. So you have to have customers that say, I love that, I have a need, when it's ready, take my name, I'm going to buy that thing from you. So that's how we vet business models. Are people telling you they're ready to buy it and actually putting up money, maybe even before you make it? Then the last thing, the numbers have to work. You have to run about a 50% gross margin, 10 to 20% net income. You have to make more money than you're spending, or it's not sustainable. Does anyone know who Sarah Blakely is? What business she started? Okay, she is the first self-made female billionaire in America. She's worth more than $1 billion. Yeah. Spanx, exactly. Okay. So she had a job, a full-time job as an executive assistant, and she and all of her friends and her mom started noticing when they'd put on leggings or put on pantyhose or whatever, they were so tight there was always a bulge, you know? And even if you're in really good shape, they're so tight there's this little bulge that they all hated. So she told her friends and her mom and her sisters, I'm going to solve that problem. So she went out and looked for some kind of shapewear that you could wear on your legs that didn't produce a bulge around your waist. And she searched and couldn't find anything like it at all. So she started buying products and sewing products together and talking to people in the apparel industry, and she made some prototypes. All of her friends loved those prototypes. They all said, this is what we've been looking for. We'll buy it from you as soon as it's ready. She still had her full-time job. She went to Neiman Marcus and sold $1 million worth of that product. That was her first customer. So she quit her day job. You know, why not? And she has now created an entire line, if you go online and look, for men and women shapewear, different kinds of products that make us look more appealing. But again, a true business opportunity, she knew for sure that this thing was going to work. All of her friends said they needed it. All of her friends said her prototype was awesome. They all said, we'll buy it. And then she sold one large customer. That's how you prove out a business model, okay? That's a true business opportunity. Okay, another important thing is that the real successful problem solvers and entrepreneurs that we know and we meet with, they build a network or a brain trust. They're not afraid to go and meet people. They're social. You know, a lot of people say, I don't want to be an entrepreneur because I don't like selling. Well, then you should not be an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurs need to network. You need to sell to investors. You need to sell to partners. You need to sell to customers. You need to have a big personality. You need to not be afraid to meet people. Take them to lunch. Ask them if they'll mentor you. Ask questions. And what we have found is successful entrepreneurs are very, very willing to mentor aspiring entrepreneurs. I taught a class at one time where the students, it was a graduate level class, and they had to go out and find 10 successful entrepreneurs and either interview them face-to-face or on Zoom or on the phone. And they had to be prominent entrepreneurs, and they were all scared to death. And so they're looking through Entrepreneur Magazine, they're looking through Inc. Magazine, and every one of those students found 10 prominent entrepreneurs that were willing to talk to them. They said, hey, I admire you. I love your product. You're awesome. I'd give anything to be able to work for you. I'm trying to build a business. Is there any way I can have a few minutes of your time? And they all got on the phone or they all got on Zoom with these prominent entrepreneurs. So you got to build a brain trust of mentors, a group of people around you. Then you eventually have to build a core team to fill in your gaps, your skill gaps. And then you have to, during your business launch, you have to build strategic partners that provide you your products, your services, your raw materials, and so on and so forth. I'm showing you our favorite entrepreneurs. Has anyone heard of Justin's Nut Butter? So Justin lives in Boulder, Colorado. A few people. And he wanted more protein. He was an athlete. He was a hiker, a biker, a runner. He wanted more protein, so he started putting nuts in the blender and blending them up into this creamy, nut butter. And he'd put them in the cupboard, and all of his roommates would eat the product. So he'd come home, and there'd be no product there. So he put his name on the jar, Justin's. And that's now the name of his company, Justin's Nut Butter. And he didn't know anything. He knew that people wanted the product because all of his roommates and all of their friends, they were all asking him to make the product, and he was making it and give it to friends. Then he started selling it in the farmer's market, and he'd sell out every time he went. So he thought, okay, I've got an opportunity here, but I don't know the food industry very well. So in Boulder, there's a lot of food companies, and he went down the list and said, how am I going to meet this guy? And how am I going to meet this woman? And he created a hit list, and he called them and said, I would love to talk to you. I'm building a food business. It's not in your space, so I'm not going to compete. I'll meet you on a bike ride. I'll meet you when you go running in the morning. I'll bring lunch to your office because you have to eat lunch. And he built this network of about 10 or 12 people in the food industry that were willing to mentor him. And one of the guys he would meet and hike with him every morning. The guy's hiking anyway, so he was very willing to spend an hour with him every morning. And so he has built this incredible brain trust that later became his board members. And just recently, he sold his company to Hormel for $256 million. So there is a reward at the end of the tunnel. That's not why you do it. You do it because you love it. You have to make money. But if you do something very special, people want to buy it. Okay, 2 important business principles. Effectiveness is reaching a goal. You set goals and you reach the goal. You're effective. You got your list done. You're awesome. Efficiency is maybe even more important when building a business and working on a problem. And that is, what are all the ways I could do this with less cost? How could I get this into the market with less cost? I don't have a lot of money. Is there a way to solve this problem with less cost? I've spent a good bit of my career consulting with large corporations, Fortune 500 companies, and I can go into any boardroom and we can sit down and they tell me about a problem they have, and I say, let's spend a day and talk about how we can solve that same problem with you spending fewer resources. And every single time we can figure out solutions that don't cost as much, that are less expensive. So our role model in this category, it's another guy that I've spent a couple days with on 2 different trips. He started Scratch Labs. It's a hydration product for athletes. He has a PhD in integrated physiology, and he was the coach, the nutrition coach for the U.S. cycling team. And what he found out quickly is that a lot of his riders had stomach aches because they were drinking syrupy drinks and syrupy gels, and they just didn't sit right in their stomach when they were out on a 5-hour bike race. And so he thought, I'm going to try to solve this problem. And he said, I'm going to use real fruit. I'm going to use real strawberries and real oranges and real apples. And so he dehydrated these real fruits. And then he went to the local paint store and said, at night when you close, can I use your paint shakers? I'll pay you a small fee to shake my dehydrated fruit up to make it into a powder. And they kind of laughed at him and said, yeah, go ahead, no problem. And so he used the paint shakers for free to make his product. He put the white powder, the colored powder in baggies and started handing these out at races. What's the problem with handing out powder in baggies? He had a problem. He had to prove that it was, it wasn't what everyone thought it was. But the U.S. cycling team loved it, and they all started using it. Then the other cycling teams, the BMS team, they all started using the product. And so now he's selling this product in these baggies to all these people, and he knew he had a business. They all were asking for it and using it. At one point, half of the pro riders in the world were using his product. So he said, okay, I'm going to start a business now. But I don't have any money, so how am I going to advertise this business and make this a national business? So what he did is he went and bought a burrito cart and started making burritos, and he would take it to all the marathons and all the century rides and all the triathlons. He'd set up the cart and he'd sell burritos. And then he'd hand out his product. He now had it actually packaged in a Scratch Lab package. And the burrito cart paid for his marketing for 1 year. He built a national brand in 1 year selling burritos. And at the end of that year, his marketing cost for the year was $800. He built a national brand with $800. So the next thing he did, he wanted to build an international brand, so he went to the Tour of California and said, I want to be a sponsor. And they said, that's great, but it's $250,000 to be a sponsor. And he said, oh, that's kind of a problem since I don't have any money. And he said, I got an idea. He said, you have a neutral maintenance car that goes around and fixes flat tires for all the cyclists from any team, all 20 teams, right? They go, yeah, that's important. He says, why don't you let me be the neutral hydration van, and I will give hydration fluids to every rider for every team. And they said, fabulous idea, and they waived the $250,000 fee. So he got in for free. So now he's marketing to riders from all over the world, and he was on 11 radio and talk shows about his new product, Scratch Labs. And after that year, now he has an international brand. So here's an example of Not everyone can do it quite like Alan did, but you got to think, how can I do this with fewer resources? Are there some creative, unique ways to solve this problem without just going to money? And we see it happen all the time. These are the skills you need for the future. Okay, this one's extremely important, is what successful businesses and organizations do, and again, whether it's a church or a nonprofit or a for-profit company, is you have to build a community of people that love you. They have to choose you. They might have to choose between your product A or your product B or your product C, but they're choosing you. You are their provider of that solution. And this is kind of a pyramid of terrible service. Top one, I've actually been in organizations where the employees say, we love this business and it would be great if it weren't for the customers. Think of the DMV, okay? The next level, we meet our expectations. Everyone goes into a business with expectations about how you're going to be treated, and if we treat you well and we meet your needs, you say, I'm satisfied. But the fact is, if you're satisfied, you're not loyal. You'll go to a competitor the next week. The way to build a community is you have to exceed their expectations on the high side. So you have to know what they're coming in expecting, and you have to notch it up to a higher level. So they walk out going, wow, these guys are awesome. She's amazing. No one treats me like this. I like this business. I like this woman. I like this man. And the best thing you can do by far is to engage your customers in your business so they think your business is their business. I'll give you just a quick example. When I built my business, I hired customers as partners in Salt Lake and Las Vegas and different marketplaces in Phoenix. And I would have them help me develop the products. I would give them products and have them test them and try them and sample them. They were food products. And until we had 70% of them saying this is a fabulous product, we never went to production. So I had hundreds of customers helping to build the business. And what I did is I gave them a VIP credit card that gave them half price on every product in all of our stores around the country. And so they were our marketers. They were our mavens. They were our partners. Our business was their business. And they were very, very loyal to us, and they would come into our store and bring their scout troops or their whole neighborhood, and they'd plop down that VIP card. Yeah, I know, Mike, I'm a partner here, and they'd put the card on the counter. And so how can you make them customers? How can you make customers as partners in the very development of your products and your services? This is one of our favorite entrepreneurs in our seed program. This is Lilia Pascual. I met her about 10 years ago in the Philippines, and we've been working with her pretty much ever since then. But Lilia has a very successful lumber yard. She sells bamboo lumber, coconut wood lumber, and if you go visit her, there are other lumber shops along the way, but hers is by far the most successful. And so I asked her one time, I said, Lilia, why is your business so successful? And she says, all the customers love me way more than they love them. Okay, well, that's great. Why? She says, well, I will go find any kind of wood that they want. If they say, I need this kind of wood, I'll go find it for them. And then I'll cut it for them. I'll ask them, what are your specs? I'll measure it and cut it for free. I don't charge for cutting. And then I'll deliver it for free. And then I take them a bag of cookies on every delivery to every customer that I go to. And the cool thing about Lilia, Andy and I had a chance to go through her handwritten book. She has handwritten records from, it was 2017 or so, 18. Handwritten records of all of her sales and all of her costs. And there are months where she will do $10,000 US in sales. And she'll net $1,000, $1,200, $1,500. And the cool thing is she has stayed in her same neighborhood, which is one of the basic slums of Manila. And she's then brought other women in, and she's trained them and taught them and shared those skills with them. Our seed students work with them, and she's helped probably 30 other women build businesses and become independent in Manila. So again, customer service that violates expectations on the high side is absolutely critical if you want to build a business. Okay, this one's pretty cool. What we're going to encourage you to do is start thinking of yourself as Me Inc. or Me LLC. You're your own entity. You're your own business. You've got to accept the fact no one is going to take care of you for the rest of your life. No corporation is going to take care of you and hire you and never fire you. Unless you get into academics, I guess, and you get tenure. which is, I think, the weirdest concept ever. But no one's going to take care of you. No government, no corporation, no nonprofit organization. So you have to say, I am my own entity. I'm taking control of my economic destiny. So I'm an entrepreneur. And then think of multiple streams of revenue. You might have a job, you might have a side hustle, you might sell things on Etsy, you might invest in real estate, but you got to start building value for yourself. Start building some equity. Start doing different things. I think everyone, even if you have a job, should have a side hustle. What's your hobby? Is there a way to build things you can sell, some way to test your ideas? The first business that I built, I worked full-time in a consulting firm, and I built the business on the side with my wife, and as soon as my income in that business matched our household income, then I left the consulting firm. So be thinking about what can you do to take care of yourself? What are the multiple streams of revenue? I think everyone should start investing in safe, conservative investments, market-linked CDs, various stock funds, real estate. Just start thinking that I have to take care of myself, and I'm going to start doing some things to have independence as soon as I can. This is one of the great stories that we like. This couple, they're both engineers. They moved to California and both got jobs engineering. And Benny, he wanted to be a great employee, he wanted to be on time, so he got up and left for work 2 hours before the start time. And he was a half hour late because he was in Southern California. It's in Los Angeles. Okay? So they quickly said, we're not going to live here. It's too crowded, it's too much traffic, too much crime, too much smog. So they moved to Sisters, Oregon as engineers, and it's a small town, 2,000 people. Have any of you been to Sisters, Oregon? What's it like? It's beautiful, isn't it? Fabulous little town, the base of the mountains. And they said, okay, well, what we're going to do as engineers, we're going to start designing biomass power plants. Our specialty is going to be design biomass power plants, and they started designing the plants. They started getting work. Then they found that the people they were doing the work for had a hard time getting contractors to build those biogas power plants, so they created a construction division that built the plants. So now they're designing them and they're building them. Then they realized that it was hard to get output. People couldn't get the adequate output, so they built a suite of software to manage the output of biomass power plants. So now they've got the design, construction, and monitoring function. And then they were flying in and out of the airport in Sisters so often they bought the airport. So now they own the airport. And then they thought other people might want to come to Sisters and do what we're doing, so let's build some retail spaces. So they built some office spaces at the airport and filled those up. So they have five sources of revenue after leaving Los Angeles. So again, the idea is me, Inc. I am my own entity. I am in charge of my own economic future. And start thinking of different things that you might do to develop security. Okay, we're doing well on time. This one really surprised us. The first 100 entrepreneurs I interviewed, I kept hearing this statement. I love my customers. I love my community. I never dreamed I'd be successful. I want to give back. What can I do? So Benny and Julie Benson, they teach in the high school. They built the high school a free biomass power plant to power the high school. Other entrepreneurs are all out there doing things in the community to give back to the community. So you think of business people, being greedy, money grubbers, all they want is money. This new age entrepreneur, we want to make a difference in the world. We want to use our assets to do good, and all of these people are doing that. And it's very exciting. So this is a couple. It's the son and his mother, and they own Idaho Sewing for Sports. And I was just skiing in Colorado last week. Wasn't a lot of snow, but the weather was awesome. And every chair pad, the seats on the chairs and the pads around the towers, that's what they make. They make padded cushion products for ski resorts. They service about 600 ski resorts around the world. And they have a beautiful little plant in Grangeville, Idaho, up on the mountain overlooking the river. Well, the problem is the business is seasonal, and they hire people, and they only need them for so many months of the year, and they didn't want to let these great employees go. So one year they said, you know what, here's what we're going to do. we're going to pay you for 40 hours a week all through the off season. So you're still employed, but we only need you half-time. So the other 20 hours a week, we want you to go out, find problems in the community, homes that need to be painted, homes that need to be rebuilt, orchards that need to be plowed, whatever, people that need food delivered to them. Go find some projects, come in, we'll put them on the board, and we'll pick these projects, and this off-season, we're going to pay you to go do those projects. Okay? Isn't that cool? So they won an award that year from the governor of Idaho, one of the most innovative social ventures in Idaho. The important point is that every really good venture needs a social cause that you'll either spin out or you'll support, and you've got to think about giving back as a way to build your business and build your community. It endears people to you. Now, they won't support you if your products aren't great. You have to have great products, great service, a great company, but then if you also do good in the community, it really endears that community to you and to your business. Okay, this is the last one I'll talk about, then we'll wrap it up here. This is a new one that we've recently discovered. There's a lot of research over the last 5 years that shows that success in business and in your career doesn't produce happiness. At best, it's a fuzzy link, and at worst, there's no link whatsoever. So we used to think if you get a good education, you get a good job, you get a good car, you have a great family, you're going to be happy. That's not true. What we know now is that emotional well-being and a happy, kind of big personality, gregarious, friendly people are the ones that have the most success in business. So emotional well-being and happiness is the driver of success, not the other way around. We're living in a time, some of you have had some classes from me, you've seen this data, it's just absolutely alarming. This is the latest data from the CDC. Just look at the top two items. 22% of American adults were treated for emotional and mental illness last year, and 33% of people in your age group, so 1 out of 3. If you have these challenges, it's not your fault, it's not a stigma. The world has just changed. The world's hard. It's really weird. And so we figure at the Center for Entrepreneurship, one of the things we have to address is emotional well-being. How do we help you feel great about yourself so that you can build a successful business, be a great problem solver, have a successful career? Just for a minute, why do you think this data is so bad suddenly? Why do we have this epidemic of despair? What's changed in the last 10 years? Yeah. So you think we're not as hardy maybe as we used to. Life's too easy. Okay? What else? Yeah, please. Yeah. Exactly. There's so much information that we had choices. It's harder to make choices. And then they're saying this might be the first generation that's not as well off as their parents. I don't believe that at all. We can help you to be successful. And if you follow the practices we teach, you will be successful. But one of the other reasons that a lot of the experts say is social media has given us more contacts, but they're superficial. We don't have the intimate, close friends that we used to have. I grew up with a hood, a group, a gang, a posse. We still are friends, We hang out, we go have lunch, we talk. It's different now. Your friends are fake friends on social media, right? And there was a study done at Harvard for 85 years, 3 generations, and they found that people that are the happiest have 5 good friends. That was it. 5 close friends that you can call. Hey, how you doing? I'm in trouble. Can you help me out? Have each other's backs and so on. The other thing, this is the cool thing. So this is one of the top neuroscientists in the world, and after 40 years, his conclusion is that you can learn to be happy just like learning to play an instrument. You practice it. And we have identified some practices that have been shown to improve brain chemistry in real time, that if you practice them, you can change your neurology, you can change your neurotransmitters. But it's something you have to choose to do. You have to work at it. And the biggest thing, I won't spoil, we have a class called Enhancing Happiness in Your Life and Career. But the biggest thing by far that'll change you tomorrow is if you get up in the morning and you look in the mirror and you go, me, what do I look like? Am I okay? How's my hair? You know, am I dressed okay? Is Susan going to be mad to me today? Is John pissed about yesterday? If you think about yourself all day, it stimulates neurotransmitters that are very toxic, mostly cortisol and adrenaline. It's your our brain's just a bag of chemicals. But if you get up and say, you know, I'm not perfect, I'm maybe not the most handsome guy, but I'm a cool guy, and I'm not going to think about myself today. I'm going to go out and I'm going to think of people that might need me, and I'm going to see if I can do some good, see if I can add some value. And then you watch for opportunities. You produce dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, like right now. You'll come home at the end of the day and you'll feel better. And as you do that longer over time, it resets your brain chemistry. So we know the secrets. We know what you have to do. And if you practice those skills, you can manage your emotional well-being, which leads to success in your career and in your life. This is what the research shows, real quickly. Okay, so real briefly, we have a minor in entrepreneurship. It's 12 credit hours, 3 classes, and you will learn all these skills of problem solving. You'll learn all these skills of creating value. You'll learn how to create some new products, some new services. It's a very practical series of courses. It's attached to every single major here at Utah State. All the deans and department heads love this track. They wish all their students would take it. And then something we just added, brand new. Darren Jackson is probably one of the top AI experts in Utah and maybe in the whole country. And we've just brought him on our team. He just started this last week. And he's teaching a special class called Artificial Intelligence and Entrepreneurship, where he's going to take a small group of students, about 8 or 10 students, and he's going to mentor you in AI and entrepreneurship, and you're going to work on his new business with him in the class. So basically, he's going to mentor you through how to use artificial intelligence in business. The class starts next week on Tuesday. There's still some space. We just basically put it on the agenda. So if you're interested at all, maybe come talk to me or Andy. But you can go online and just register for this class. It meets Tuesdays at 3 o'clock from 5 o'clock in the new Learning Center over here, right next door. So I'm going to show you who's coming. Maybe some of you have seen this, a 3-minute video. But these are our guests that are going to teach us this semester.
Sometimes all it takes is one spark, one story, one moment that drives you to pursue your own path. This spring, the Entrepreneur Leadership Series is back, bringing that spark through 12 inspiring entrepreneurs, creators, and change makers sharing how they build something extraordinary. This year's speakers include Shauna Smith, co-founder of Savory, who has been responsible for developing, operating, and acquiring more than 400 restaurants, generating $2.5 billion in sales, and creating 40,000 jobs across brands like Swig, Mobetta's, R&R Barbecue, and The Crack Shack. Adam Paul, founder of Next Meters, whose multi-million-dollar water metering company started in his garage and now has more than 4 million devices in use, reshaping utility management and conserving billions of gallons of water. Michelle Smith, a graduate of Utah State who is now Chief People Officer at the Larry H. Miller Company and President of Miller Sports and Entertainment, overseeing Real Salt Lake, the Utah Royals, the Salt Lake Bees, and Megaplex Theaters. Dan Clark, co-founder and CEO of D&D Enterprises, who scaled a single Jimmy John's into 37 thriving locations, mastering the challenges of growth and franchise leadership. Heather Mason, an entrepreneur shaped by her time at Utah State, who has produced high-impact events for foundations and change makers and created the Impact Lounge, featured around the world at events including Sundance, Cannes, and the United Nations. Joseph Brennan, best-selling author and social entrepreneur who co-authored crucial conversations with more than 7 million copies sold and launched the Other Side Academy and Village, where people overcoming crime and addiction rebuild their lives through work and accountability. Justin Haskell, founder of Maximum Senior Benefits, who built a national insurance marketing organization specializing in Medicare and final expense coverage, serving thousands of families each year. Dr. Lyle Barber, a USU alum who founded a mountain-performing equine hospital and built a thriving veterinary practice alongside a 420-acre ranch, blending animal health with entrepreneurial grit. Daphne Blanchard, co-founder of Zolano International, who has launched ventures across Latin America from outsourcing and green cleaning to a yellow dragon fruit farm in the Amazon. Every journey starts with a single step. Be inspired to take that step. 12 weeks, 12 inspiring speakers, free Aggie ice cream every week, and a chance to connect with the innovators shaping tomorrow. Register for MSLE 2550, the Entrepreneur Leadership Series, the most valuable one-credit class you will ever take.
Okay, are you excited to be here? Let's hear it. Are you excited? Passion, remember, it's important. Okay. So you can see we have some seats left over. If you have friends that want to join the class, great, but they can come whether they join the class or not. The remaining seats are open to anyone that comes and wants this, and we would like to fill the auditorium up. Next week, it's Shauna Smith, who's just an absolutely amazing entrepreneur. You'll be able to meet her next week. Okay, what I want to do is let's have our team come up, guys. This is our team at the Center for Entrepreneurship. We have an amazing team. I've been in business for a long time, and this is one of the strongest teams I've ever worked with. I love these people, and I stay every year at Utah State. I didn't think I'd be here this long, but because we have a phenomenal team. So Russell Fisher got an MBA at Oxford University, one of the top universities in the country. His specialty is marketing. He's worked in the finance industry. He knows marketing. He knows how to start and market new ventures. He's launched some of his own side hustles, and he's also in charge of our mentoring program. So if you want to find a mentor, you come talk to Russell, okay? So Russell Fisher, he's awesome. Let's hear it. Okay, Andy Tennell. Andy's been with us for 10 years. He has an MBA degree. He has started a number of companies. The first ones was he started in Guatemala. He found women that are weavers, and he purchases their yarn, and then he makes from that yarn, authentic yarn, he makes wallets, and he makes covers for computers and those kinds of things. He also owns Rapid Progression Kayak School. So he's a whitewater guy, and he likes to go off big cliffs and do dangerous things. And Andy runs our seed program, and then he helps do the marketing and the video work. The video you just saw, Andy produced that video. So Andy Tennell. Okay, Paige is just finishing up her master's degree in instructional technology this semester. You're done. You just finished it. Okay, she's done. She has a master's degree. So she is now eligible to teach classes, and she is the heartbeat of our program. She runs our office. She's the one that you'll meet with first and see, and she'll help to get you in the right place. And one of the things I really appreciate about Paige, I'll love her forever, when we did our cross-country bike ride a summer ago, we rode from the West Coast to the East Coast to raise money for the SEED program. And Paige was the logistics manager of that amazing trip. So she got the hotel, she managed the route, she arranged the food and everything. So let's hear it for Paige Longer. So we all love being here. We love each other. We love our students. We are available to help you with your careers. We're going to introduce the rest of the team. They're not here, but how many of you have had a class from Dr. Keller? Anybody? Okay, Dr. Keller is an amazing person with a PhD. She spent 15 years in the Air Force. Her job was to refurnish jets and have them ready to fight. She had a multi-billion-dollar budget. She would fix airplanes. She had a large staff, and she cut the cost by billions of dollars to get airplanes back flying quickly. And then when they were done, their service was done, she would sell them to foreign countries. Students that take classes from her, she scares you to death the first few weeks, and by the end, you absolutely love her to death. because she cares about you, and she's a brilliant internal entrepreneur. She knows how to create value within existing corporations. I'm going to let Russell introduce Kurt.
So below my picture here is Kurt House. Kurt House is one of our lecturers and an entrepreneur in residence here at Utah State. He's was educated in Utah and in New Jersey, also in Pennsylvania. He started his career at Accenture in consulting, but then started his own consulting practice, primarily in the energy sector. But he's an expert in organizational efficiency as well. He's published a book in that. And he continues to work in the Middle East. He's worked in Russia. He's worked in the United States. He's worked in Venezuela, understanding infrastructure and the energy program there. He has over 4 decades of experience and loves teaching our students here. He lives in Salt Lake. He teaches classes at night as well. And so he's somebody that here is also to support you as well.
Okay, and below my picture here is Doug Miller, and he lives in Price. So he's the director of the Center for Entrepreneurship, USU Eastern. He actually graduated from Utah State University, did his undergrad here, and then he went on to, it was the University of Montana, got an MBA, and then he got a PhD at the University of Washington in Strategic Management and Entrepreneurship. And so he teaches online classes from Price, directing the center down there. He teaches new venture creation and entrepreneurship minor, new venture marketing, new venture finance. And he teaches actually a marketing class. How many of you guys knew that you could get Adobe Cloud for free as a Utah State student? Highly recommend. If you don't have it now, it's free. Leverage it. You're going to need it as an entrepreneur. He teaches a class that'll teach you how to utilize those things like Premiere, how to edit, Photoshop, how to utilize the software. And he's an entrepreneur himself. He started Climb Ventures, and he supports entrepreneurs in strategic planning and support, helping them grow their business.
And then right under my picture is Daphne. You guys heard about her in the video, but she is the director of the Bingham Center for Entrepreneurship, and we are lucky enough to get to hear from her. She got her undergrad at SUU, and then she got her graduate degree in California, so San Diego. So we're really lucky to have her, and she will be up here in just a few weeks.
Okay, so this class is scheduled to go from 6 to 7:30, and we'll go to 7:30 tonight, but usually we're out by 7 o'clock, and then we go network and hang out and eat ice cream in the lobby, okay? What we're going to do now, Paige is going to tell you a little bit about the class and the logistics and how you get your grade, and then we actually have 3 entrepreneurs pitching their businesses for money tonight. They each have 3 minutes, and then we'll be finished right by 7:30. So Paige, take it from here.
Actually, Russell's going to talk to you for a second.
So one of the things that's really important, and this is also, we were talking about, if you have friends that want to take this class is a gift to the university. You know that we give you free ice cream, you have dinner with this. We want as many people to get involved with this. So get your friends to sign up for this class. In addition, if you are thinking about minoring in entrepreneurship, declare it, because then we'll have the information. And if you declare it tonight, we'll give you a free t-shirt. So go on there right now, declare that. We have, 200 shirts available for 200 people out here. So if you you've declared it, just sign up right now, then come into the center tomorrow, and we'll get you a free t-shirt. We have sizes from small to extra large. No? Oh, medium to extra large, because we're into baggy clothes now, so it works for everyone, okay? All right, so you can scan that. Do I need to wait for a little bit longer for anyone? Okay. All right, next slide. All right, Paige, you talk about this.
All right, so when you guys sign up for this class, you get the opportunity to come to one of the dinners with an entrepreneur that's coming to speak to us. So I need you all to scan this QR code and rate which dinner you want to come to. I will try to get you one of your top 3 to come to. So if you don't scan it right now and you can't find it, it's on the syllabus later. So make sure to do that before Friday, please. And I will send you an email the week before, and I need you to RSVP yes or no to if you're going to come to the dinner or not. Okay. And now I'm going to introduce our TA for the class is Jaden Dennison, and he's going to talk a little bit about how you're going to get your grade in this class.
Perfect, thanks guys.
All right, so you all should have gotten a little paper like this. It just has 5 little spots on it. Every week, you're just going to write 5 things that you like or learn, and that's really all you have to do. Go ahead and just make sure you put your name on it, the speaker name, and your A number, and then as you leave, put it on the table out there, and that's just how you're going to get your grade. That's really all you have to do. You can miss 2 classes. Some people were wondering, so you do have those 2. If you have to miss more, just go ahead and email me, and we can work with you. We do record all the lectures. But obviously it's better if you're here in person. So my information is on Canvas. If you have any more questions or concerns, go ahead and just shoot me an email. But yeah, thanks guys.
All right, so the last class is going to be called Shark Tank, where we have some businesses that are pitching for money. And we decided this year to begin it with a pitch competition. So every year the Utah Entrepreneur Challenge is a statewide competition where every university gets to have one team that represents the university there. Utah State, of course, as you would expect, is the reigning champion from the state of Utah. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. So we're awesome. We are also the reigning champion of the State Bank Challenge, which happened earlier. I won't tell you who won that because it might change the way that you view these pitches, because we have one of those people here tonight. And one of our pitchers has also been selected as one of the top teams for the Global Student Entrepreneur Awards coming up this weekend. So we've got some great teams here. We've got 3 businesses, and one of these businesses is going to represent Utah State. So we're going to allow you to put your vote in for who you think you like, and we're also going to send this to some of our founders board. But tonight, those who you pick is going to get an extra $200. And so we're excited to have these 3 teams pitch. And so it'll be, they'll have 3 minutes to pitch. I'll ask them a few questions, and then we'll go through the 3 different teams. And then we'll have a chance for you to choose your audience choice, and then we'll get some ice cream, which sounds like a good idea. I think they're already starting to scoop ice cream right now. Does that sound like a good plan? Yeah? Okay, all right. So first of all, we're going to have Bridge come on out here. All right, Bridge.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming out. And before I start, I just want to tell you guys that I took that class with Darren Jackson in AI and entrepreneurship, and it has changed my life. So if you want to be one of those 8 people, I highly recommend taking that class because, again, changed my college experience and my entire future. 1 second, maybe. Okay, great. Okay, so this is my company, Bridge. First, I want to start out by asking you guys a question. Have you ever left the vet clinic feeling confused or concerned? My name is Natalia Capote, and I bridge vets and pets. Today, veterinarians spend hours on documentation, clients are left waiting for information, and staff are overwhelmed with the amount of work they have to do. So here are some of the pains. Right now, clients are wanting their 2-way messaging with their vets. They want time-intensive tasks that are taking way too long for the vets to do, and there's also an administrative overload that follows the vets home. Our solution here, Bridge started out by clinic feedback. So I went into clinics around Utah and showed them my prototype, which you'll see further on into the presentation. But pretty much, first we're going to be launched as a software enhancer. It'll deliver immediate value and remove daily friction in each clinic. Our market size and our opportunity is a $600 million market. Our 2028 goal is $14 million in annual recurring revenue, and we will get there by charging 3,000 clinics $400 per month. Our primary core customer is a general practice veterinarian that needs their time back. And we actually right now have a list of pilot clinics that are waiting to use Bridge, and as soon as our coders get done with their development. So let's see. So here you go. So this is our prototype. We have our clinic platform, which is on the left, and the client app on our right. So the clinic platform has a vet assessment and plan, vet AI assistance, business analytics, and a 2-way client messaging chat to make the clinics more efficient and more profitable. You also have a clinic app, or a client app, sorry, that allows them to have a unique follow-up plan with their pets and gives them tailored care plans, so you know exactly what's going on with your animal and you can figure it out without having to wait for a vet to respond back. So in progress right now, like I told you before, we have our minimum viable product, which is what you just showed or just saw, and we actually have, like I said, in Pakistan, a team building that right now. We have our list of pilot clinics, and we are filing our stuff for patents actually right now as we speak. Right now, the demand is real. People have said that we would buy this tomorrow and this could have saved my pet. People are asking for Bridge because they will believe it saves time, improves care, and changes outcome. So with your guys' support today, I would love to build the platform that veterinarians are asking for and that pet owners deserve. So together, let's bridge vets and pets. Thank you.
All right, I've got 2 questions. So first of all, do you have any organizations that are interested in this right now?
Yes, so there's actually multiple clinics and hospitals, like I just said before, but there's also some competitors that are interested in our product as well.
And so do you have a coding background then?
I have no coding background, guys. I started this all last semester in the Center for Entrepreneurship. I'm a pre-vet major, and I was working in clinics and saw a need, and I decided to just start it myself with no coding background.
All right, excellent, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to switch over to our next group, which is Kiva, and they have their slides in a slightly different place, and so we'll have them come on out. All right, Kiva, come on out.
Love it. Paige, thank you. Thanks, Russell. Okay, love it. Happy to be here. Hello, everyone. My name is Connor Hobbs, and we built Kiva. Kiva builds digital keys for rental properties without ever connecting to Wi-Fi. Now, what exactly am I talking about? Well, today, property managers use a combination of code locks, lock boxes, and even still brass keys to manage the headache of who actually has access to each of their portfolio properties. Now, why don't they just switch over to smart locks and use digital keys? Well, it's because smart locks require Wi-Fi or cellular connection to be installed in each of those properties. But why exactly is it a problem? Well, it's because these property managers often have hundreds of units within their portfolio. Our first client, for example, manages over 250 properties from the Salt Lake City region all the way up to Boise, Idaho, and asking them to install Wi-Fi or cellular connection in each of those 250 locations is ridiculously expensive and just doesn't make sense. So what exactly did we do different? Kiva built a smart lock that works completely offline. Powered by our NFC technology and our proprietary authenticator, it allows these property managers to send a temporary digital key via text or email directly to your smartphone. From there, it's a simple tap to unlock technology. And when combined with our software, it allows these property managers to send or revoke these temporary keys to your phone at any time of the day, giving them one single location to manage all of the access in their portfolio. Today, there are over 8 million doors being managed by these property management firms, charging $12 per lock per month. Assuming a 5-year lifespan, we see this as a $10 billion opportunity. Now the question is, do people want it? We say absolutely. We already have 5 customers with signed sales contracts here in the state of Utah, collectively representing over 900 properties. And the fun announcement we have for you today is we've just officially launched agentic workflows, or AI agents, in the product, making our software even easier to use with our clients. And to briefly introduce you to the team sitting here in front of me, Dallin, Charles, and I have been working on this business collectively as a team 120 hours a week for the past year. We have quickly become experts in this property management space. And what have we learned? We've learned specifically that over the past decade, your wallet has gone digital. Now with Kiva, we're helping property managers tap into that technology to help them unlock the future of smart access. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, just one question for you. So this seems like it's an important technology. Do you have the ability to patent this?
Yes, so happy you asked. our team has officially met with lawyers and we've filed our patent and should be patent pending, hopefully within the next few days or weeks. So very
Excellent.
exciting.
All right, great, thanks.
Thanks. Please, thank you. Thanks, Paige. Thanks, no, you're awesome.
All right, and as we do our switch over right now, we have Signal Smith. This is another vet product, but we are the Aggie, so we're an agricultural school, so this is great, okay? Let's see here. All right, come on out.
Right. Okay, every vet has that story of the patient that was fine in recovery and suddenly it wasn't. This is personal to me. My aunt's a practicing vet and she's had patients that look perfectly fine and then suddenly weren't, just minutes later. And this isn't rare. 47% of post-op complications happen during recovery when patients are alone and unmonitored. And the pet owners face similar risks when their pets show no signs of declining health. And the problem is simple. Vets can't constantly monitor every single animal, and animals instinctively hide distress and poor declining health, making these limited observation times critical, but opening up a ton of time into where animals aren't being monitored. And current monitoring techniques require contact, wires, straps, probes, which tangle, cause stress, and effectively aren't operable for post-op observation and for constant monitoring. And this creates a deadly blind spot, which, with contactless vital sign monitoring, is eliminated. We are able to measure heart rate and respiration through fur, blankets, and kennels, giving people real-time vital sign information. Our units detect the micro movements of the chest, and our algorithms cancels out motion and isolates those vital signs, providing real-time heart rate and breathing without wires and without stress. And this is important because it provides early detection and timely alerts and safer outcomes for those patients during the most dangerous phase of care. And so for smaller clinics, this gives overnight peace of mind, and for larger facilities, enhanced revenue and improved operational efficiency. And so we're first going to enter through veterinary clinics and livestock facilities. Our hardware will start at $750 per unit, and then we'll have our monitoring and analysis software at $50 a month per unit. And then we'll move into phase 2, where consumers can start to monitor their pets and share that information directly with partnered vets. And we're already moving. In 4 months, we've had our first batch of our hardware that is being shipped right now. And we have monitoring opportunities at USU farms and also at several different clinics, which are ready and waiting for clinical trials as soon as our hardware is ready. We're moving fast, we're moving efficiently. I'm Marshall Rasmussen, CEO of Signal Smith, and that's Taryn Pike, my co-founder and CTO. We're both pursuing Masters of Engineering in Computer Engineering and Electrical Engineering, respectively, which has given us the knowledge and the opportunity to do something that no one else has. And we're looking for your help to put our first 10 units and collect 1,000 hours of clinical data with different vets. And that's an opportunity that current pets and animals are experiencing and dying because they can't be monitored constantly. Please help us in this drive to save some of those animals. That's my number. If you know a vet, please help us prevent a life from being lost. Thank you.
All right, Marshall. Similar question for Kiva. Is this patentable and protectable?
Yes, so our intent to patent has been filed, and so we're just working on paperwork.
Excellent. All right, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
All right, these are 3 great businesses, students that are here that have developed something while they're here. And so have a chance now to vote on these. Now these people are building these businesses when there was 20, I think, we've had 27 different pitches so far of different student businesses. And so we'd love to hear from you. If you've got a business, we'd like to give you a chance to compete in these competitions. And so let us know about that as well. We'll start you on this audience choice voting. It's really kind of exciting. I can see that, Natalia, you got your hands chewing your nails. We do want to announce right now that all 3 of these teams will be giving them $500 for pitching tonight. And so that's... So. All right. And then I think Max is going to come up here. We're going to move this QR code to the right, and Max is going to talk about one other program for mentorship.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Hi, I'm Max. And how many of you have heard of RISE before? One, that's more than I expected. That's totally fine. So RISE is for people that have a business or want to start a business. It's kind of not an exclusive club, but it's a small group of student-owned businesses where we work together and we help each other. Raise your hand if you have a business or you're working on getting a business. Fantastic.
Awesome.
I want all of you guys to sign up for it. We have a class that meets on Tuesdays where you work together in your small group to kind of help each other and build each other up. It's for anyone that needs a little bit of help, that wants to help others. Like was talked about before, entrepreneurs are very, very oftentimes give back a lot. And so we want to help each other while we help ourselves at the same time too.
All right, thanks. Okay, so you can see here we're about done here. So I'm gonna close this up pretty quickly, the voting. And just want to let you know that we are here to help you. We're going to have these great speakers. Get your friends involved. Get involved with the Center for Entrepreneurship. Let us help you to take control of your futures. All right, so I'm going to lock this. We're going to announce our winner right now. Da-da-da-da. Do we have a drum roll? Can you give it to me? There you go. All right. And the winner of the audience choice is Kiva. Congratulations. All right. Thanks, everyone. I think, is that it, Mike? Anything else from you? All right. There's ice cream in the back. We'll see you next week.